In Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 2, the show makes it increasingly clear that Georgie is struggling to run the tire store, and the way it presents that struggle is both grounded and painfully realistic. This isn't a story about incompetence or laziness. It's about a young man being handed responsibility faster than he's had time to grow into it, and realizing that wanting to provide doesn't automatically mean knowing how to lead. Georgie took over the tire store with the best intentions. For him, it represented stability, adulthood, and proof that he could be more than the reckless teenager everyone still sees. Season 2 strips away the fantasy of that idea. Owning or managing a business isn't just about showing up and working hard. It's about systems, people management, cash flow, decision-making, and stress that doesn't clock out at the end of the day. Georgie is learning all of that the hard way. What makes Georgie's situation so difficult is that he's trying to run the store while simultaneously trying to be a good husband and a young father. The pressure never stops. When he's at work, he's worrying about home. When he's at home, he's worrying about the store. That constant mental load leaves him exhausted, reactive, and second-guessing himself. The show does a great job of showing how leadership becomes overwhelming when you don't have the tools or support to handle it. One of Georgie's biggest challenges is authority. He's young, inexperienced, and managing people who may not take him seriously. Every decision he makes feels like a test, and every mistake feels amplified. Instead of confidence, he operates in survival mode. He fixes problems as they appear instead of preventing them, which keeps the business running but never stable. Financial pressure is another major weight. The tire store doesn't just represent a job. It represents Georgie's ability to provide for his family. That emotional connection makes every slow day feel catastrophic and every unexpected expense feel personal. Georgie isn't just worried about profit. He's worried about failure, judgment, and confirming everyone's worst assumptions about him. Season 2 also highlights how isolated Georgie feels in this role. Mandy is focused on her career, and while that's understandable, it leaves Georgie carrying the burden of the store largely alone. He doesn't have a mentor. He doesn't have a safety net. And he doesn't feel comfortable admitting how overwhelmed he is, because doing so would feel like admitting defeat. What's especially compelling is how the show avoids turning this into a joke. Georgie's struggle isn't played for laughs. It's portrayed with empathy. He isn't failing because he doesn't care. He's failing because caring isn't enough. Running a business requires knowledge, patience, and experience, and Georgie is still learning all three at once. There's also a subtle emotional shift happening within Georgie. The more pressure he feels at the store, the more withdrawn he becomes at home. He's not pulling away because he doesn't care. He's pulling away because he's overwhelmed. That emotional distance adds tension to his marriage, especially when Mandy interprets his stress as disengagement rather than exhaustion. The tire store storyline also serves as a quiet counterpoint to Mandy's career arc. While Mandy is finding confidence and recognition in her job, Georgie is being humbled by his. One is gaining control, the other is losing it. That imbalance isn't inherently wrong, but it becomes dangerous when it isn't acknowledged. Georgie's struggle deserves as much understanding as Mandy's ambition, and Season 2 seems increasingly aware of that. What makes Georgie's journey compelling is that it's honest. Not everyone who steps into responsibility thrives immediately. Some people stumble. Some people struggle. Georgie's difficulty running the tire store doesn't mean he's incapable, it means he's human. He's learning under pressure, without a guide, and with everything he cares about on the line. Season 2 doesn't offer easy solutions, and that's intentional. Georgie doesn't magically figure it out in one episode. Instead, the show allows the difficulty to linger. That lingering struggle makes his arc feel earned rather than manufactured. Ultimately, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage uses the tire store as more than a workplace. It's a symbol of adulthood arriving before readiness. Georgie wants to succeed, wants to provide, and wants to prove himself, but wanting isn't the same as knowing how. And that's the heart of his Season 2 struggle. Georgie isn't failing because he lacks effort. He's struggling because growing up doesn't come with instructions, and right now he's learning that the hard way.